What's up, 6th graders? Let's hang out with Scooby-Doo, shall we? We're going to make an audio project, kind of like an audio book of Scooby-Doo, where we can play with the voices and have some fun with audio editing. We are going to do it in iMovie because it's pretty simple to do. Before you start, we'll need to have some kind of background picture. So click on Maps and Backgrounds. And I go with Gradient. Because I like it. No real reason. Grab the end, stretch it out really long. So I've got about 2 minutes. That's great. Go all the way back to the beginning. Go back to Scooby-Doo in your menu. I happen to know that the first person that talks is Lawrence. Lawrence is right here. All of these lines are Lawrence's lines. But man, how are we going to edit that? It's really tiny. See this guy? The little film strip? Give him a click. Turn up your clip size a little bit. Lawrence is the second one, right? So if we click there, we should be good. And then, what does this zoom thing do? It will make it bigger, so you can see each line that belongs to Lawrence. If you click anywhere away from this gray thing, it goes away. The first thing is me saying who it is, and the second thing is Lawrence's first line. I betcha. Let's listen.
Alright, let's do Lawrence next.
Told ya. Here's his first line.
Dr. Belmont, I still don't see why we have to work so late.
What a goofy voice this man has. This is his line right here. Do you see how we have this like wall of sound with these little yellow peaks on it? This is where his line starts when the line gets high. His line ends when the line goes down low again. So if I hover my mouse over this part and I just click and drag till I get to the end and let go, I can take his first line, take it, let's drop it in front of this gray thing. And let's even trim off the beginning until right before he starts, and trim off the end until right after he's done, and let's listen just to that one line. Go to the beginning and hit play.
Dr. Belmont, I still don't see why we have to work so late.
Boom. Hover over, let's control click, and let's detach the audio. What happens, you'll see, is the picture and the audio separate. So then I can take this guy and I can scoot him on down into this gray part. Click. Delete. Now let's look for the doctor, who happens to be the first person. This is me saying it's the doctor, and I bet you this is the doctor's first line. Let's see if I'm telling the truth.
Alright, let's start with Scooby-Doo. I think I'll read Dr. Belmont first.
I'm a genius. Here comes Doctor's first line.
We can't wait until morning, Lawrence. This stone is far too important. I can just see an inscription coming through.
That's okay.
Try that line again.
Ooh, I tried a second time.
We can't wait until morning, Lawrence. This stone is far too important. I can just see an inscription coming through.
So, this was my first time through, and then I said, hey, let's try it again. The second one is what I want. I'm going to click right before it, and I'm going to drag. Got it all in yellow. Drop it in the front. Trim it off at the beginning. Trim it off at the end. Let's listen to it and make sure it's good.
We can't wait until morning, Lawrence. This stone is far too important. I can just see an inscription coming through.
Sounds good. Control, click, detach the audio. I'm going to shrink this guy down with this slider right here. Click, drag, move it right after Lawrence's line. There's no sound left on this picture. Click, delete. Let's hear how it sounds so far. We'll have a little bit of silence, and then the lines will start.
Dr. Belmont, I still don't see why we have to work so late.
We can't wait until morning, Lawrence. This stone is far too important. I can just see an inscription coming through.
And I believe the next line is good heavens, and that's also from the doctor.
Good heavens!
It is. So let's click before it, go to where it's finished, drag, drop, control, click, detach the audio, move it down. Now what do we do with this guy here? Now that there's no sound, click, delete. I'm going to push these really close together. Let's listen to it so far.
Dr. Belmont, I still don't see why we have to work so late.
We can't wait until morning, Lawrence. This stone is far too important. I can just see an inscription coming through. Good heavens!
That's our first 3 lines. You just need to follow the script and repeat the process over and over and over again until it's done. Now we'll go to the old version of iMovie and show you how to do the same exact thing. So now you can see we're in iMovie 9. To get that background, see the globe? Click. Everything comes in over here. Let's use the same one. Gradient. Drag. Drop. And instead of stretching it, click it twice. You get the inspector. Instead of 4 seconds long, let's make it 120 seconds long, which is 2 minutes. Hit done. Boom! Wow, look how long it got. 2 minutes. Remember, Lawrence was second, Dr. Belmont was first. I'm going to click inside the Lawrence box, just so that my cursor rests there. See the slider that says all? Move it to your left a little bit. We know that the clip starts here. See how it's kind of tapered off in the corner? This is me saying it's Lawrence.
Who's next?
And here's Lawrence's first line.
Dr. Belmont, I still don't see why we have to work so late.
Right. So let's click at the beginning of that line. If a box appears like this, just kind of wiggle it any way you want. Click, drag, put it at the beginning, and drop. Control, click, detach audio. It's purple. Move it down. Delete. Let's go find the doctor's first line. He's all the way at the top. Here's me saying it's the doctor. Here's the doctor's first line, and then remember how I said no, I want to do it again? I did it a second time. Click. Drag. Drop it in front. See that green line? That lets you know it's going at the beginning, which is where you want to drop it, and then let go. Control, click. Detach audio. Move it down. And then go back to this guy and hit delete. Let's see how it sounds.
Dr. Belmont, I still don't see why we have to work so late.
We can't wait until morning, Lawrence. This stone is far too important. I can just see an inscription coming through.
Cool. If you want to get rid of a little bit of the gap between the two of them, see the slider down here? Move it to your left, it looks like. And you'll see how the lines get bigger and longer, which allow you to trim the ends. See how I'm making it shorter? Woohoo! Making it longer. Wrong one. Click this guy. Move it back. Move it back. Let's trim the ends off. See those side arrows? That's what you want. And then I can move them closer. Let's hear how it sounds now.
Dr. Belmont, I still don't see why we have to work so late.
We can't wait until morning, Lawrence. This stone is far too important. I can just see an inscription coming through.
So that's our first step. Put together that whole first scene with Dr. Belmont and Lawrence, and then we'll go on to the next step. Thanks.